Batting fourth, the cleanup batter, Darryl Strawberry. Batting fifth in left field, Kevin McReynolds. Batting sixth at third base, Howard Johnson. The seventh batter will be Mackey Sasser. He's catching. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Mario Diaz. And the ninth batter, David Cohn, the pitcher.
And the first pitch of the ball game is high, ball one. Mark Carrion this evening in center field, as he often is when a left-hander starts. Low, ball two. That has been the problems, or one of the problems, with Pat Combs this year. He led the National League in walks before the All-Star game, even though he has walked only two since the All-Star game. Tapper foul, 2-1 to Carrion.
He had 46 walks before the All-Star game, but pitched well in his last two times. He has a lifetime record of 2-1 against the Mets. 1-1 this year.
High, ball three. 3 balls and a strike to Mark Carrion. Carrion with 9 home runs in his 32 starts in the outfield. This one fouled away, 3-2 to Mark.
He's had one leadoff home run. Leading off a ball game with a home run. The Mets have had 5 this year. 2 by Howard Johnson. 2 by Jeffries.
Full count to Mark Carrion to lead it off. Outside, so the bugaboo for Combs is back, walking the leadoff batter. Defensively for the Phillies, Randy Reddy in left field. Len Dykstra, the former Met, in center. Von Hayes in right field. Charlie Hayes, who leads all National League third basemen in fielding percentages at third. Dickie Thon, Tommy Herr, Carmelo Martinez in at first base. The ailing John Kruk out of there. Darren Dalton behind the plate, and Pat Combs on the mound. The umpires, Tom Hallian behind the plate, Eric Gregg at first base, Doug Harvey at second, Jerry Crawford at third. And Dave Magadan, the batter, batting .343, and he takes a fastball low, ball one.
Magadan would be second in the batting race, but he does not have enough plate appearances to qualify. He will get enough if he continues to play every day.
This one hits sharply to right field, but Von Hayes is there to make the catch. Magadan hit it very hard, but nothing to show for it. 1 out, and that'll bring up Greg Jeffries. Jeffries broke the scoreless tie last night in the 4th inning with his 12th home run. Ties a career high. Mets were leading 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning when the Phillies erupted for 5 runs, highlighted by the grand slam by Dickie Thon. And the curve for a strike to Jeffries. Strike one. Pat Combs from Newport, Rhode Island, lives in Houston, Texas, and he went back to Houston and the Dome this year and pitched a shutout while leaving only 40 passes. Fly ball right field, long run for Hayes, and he makes the play. 2 outs.
Combs attended the University of Houston and then went to Baylor University. And he was a member of the USA Olympic team.
The oohs and ahs in the background. Mixed reviews on Darryl Strawberry. Mixed at Veterans Stadium because there are a lot of Met fans here. 35 to 40,000 on hand this evening. It's often the case when these two teams meet. Curve inside, and it gets by Dalton. Most of those that have gotten by Dalton this year have been wild pitches with Combs pitching.
He's had 9 wild pitches so far this year. Throws a good curveball, and you could see why he would throw that ball in the dirt a lot.
Popped up left side. Back is Fine. In is Randy Ready. Up goes the hand and into the glove of Fine for the third out. The Mets failed to score here in the first. The Phillies coming up right after this from Kodak Film. About 40,000 on hand to see the Mets and the Phillies go at it. David Cone has won 6 straight decisions over 7 games, and there are his numbers, and here's who he'll be facing.
The leadoff batter for the Phillies, Lenny Dykstra, who leads the league in hitting with a .350 average. Batting second and catching in the ball game is Darren Dalton. Batting third, playing second base, Tommy Herr. Batting fourth, the right fielder Von Hayes. Batting fifth and playing first base, Carmelo Martinez. Batting sixth at third base, Charlie Hayes. The seventh batter to the shortstop, Dickie Thon, the grand slam home run yesterday, the hero of the game. Batting eighth and playing left field, Randy Ready. And the pitcher, Pat Combs, batting ninth.
And defensively for the Mets, Kevin McReynolds in left field, Mark Carrion in center, Darryl Strawberry in right, Howard Johnson at third base, Mario Diaz the shortstop, Greg Jeffries at second, Dave Magadan at first, Mackie Sasser again behind the plate, nursing that sprained ankle of his. And the first pitch to Len Dykstra is high, ball 1.
Dykstra 0 for 3 in last night's ball game.
Inside, ball 2. He leads the league in batting average, in walks, and on-base percentage. The last Philly to lead the National League in hitting is in this ballpark. 1958, Richie Ashburn led the National League in hitting. There's a strike on the corner. Strike 1, 2 and 1 to Len Dykstra. Richie Ashburn, one of 4 numbers to have been retired by the Phillies. Robin Roberts, number 36, Steve Carlton, 32, and Mike Schmidt, number 20. Nice visit with Mike before the game, didn't we, Rob?
Very nice.
This one lined right about where Mike Schmidt is sitting over there, right next to us.
I wonder if he's learned to get out of the way of those foul balls by now.
He never olayed anything at third, I'll tell you. 10-time Gold Glover, a cinch to go in the Hall of Fame his first year, doing the games for Prism here in Philadelphia. Richie Ashburn doing the games for WCAU Radio.
I think without question, Mike Schmidt. There's Richie Ashburn with Harry Callis.
The one with the hat, the inimitable Richie Ashburn. Sharply to first. Magadan snags it. 1 out.
Complete that thought. I'm sure that you would get very few people who would argue that Mike Schmidt wasn't the very best third baseman in the history of the game of baseball.
And too many qualifications all around. Defense, had speed when he was younger. I mean, he stole 31 bases one year. 548 home runs. Had a big night for him here this year when they retired his number on May 26th. Darren Dalton on the first pitch hits one deep to right. It's out of here. Home run, Darren Dalton, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. Zap. Man, oh man, Darren Dalton jumping on the first pitch.
That is his 5th home run of the year. 26 RBI. We'll look at it again. A fastball, and he gets all of it. Dalton hitting 196 against the Mets in his major league career, and that is his 6th home run off the Mets.
The 12th home run yielded by David Cone on the season, and that'll bring up Tommy Herr. 1-0 Philadelphia. Strike 1. Dalton, normally hitting in that number 8 spot, has started 9 games in the 2-hole, and he told me that he's getting much better pitches to hit from the number 2 spot. Forkball is high. 1-1 to Herr, batting .267.
Herr with 70 runs batted in his major league career against the Mets, the most that he's ever had against any team that he has played against.
Good splitter there. 1-2 to Tommy Herr.
He put the icing on the cake for the Phillies last night with a 3-base hit that scored 2 runs.
Breaking ball from the side door. That was the garage entrance, wasn't it?
That was in the garage, and Cohen thought he got the car in there too.
Well, if it tricks the hitter, a lot of times it'll trick the umpire. You see the umpire working the slot, and often they don't get a good look at those pitches. Those last 2 pitches very close. But sometimes if a hitter can't cover that outside part, the umpire finds it very difficult to do it. Tom Hallian behind the plate. Fly ball to center field. Mark Carrion over. McReynolds, and it's Carrion. 2 outs here in the first inning. Until about 8 years ago, Ralph, Jerry Newdecker, an umpire in the American League, as you look at Buddy Harrelson, who held a 15-minute meeting tonight for the game, get the team refocused. Von Hayes the batter. But Jerry Newdecker was the last to use that balloon protector. American League umpires standing over the catcher. They never worked the slots like the National League umpires have done for years.
And that made the American League a high ball league as far as pitchers were concerned, where they could throw higher strikes.
Couldn't bend over and really get a good look at that low pitch. 1-1 to Von Hayes. Von among the leaders in walks and on-base percentage, as he is often. Slider misses. There's that backdoor breaking ball again.
Well, Cohen is not getting anything that's close from Hallian so far.
Fork ball line to right, base hit. So Hayes with the second Phillies hit. He is a threat to run. He has stolen 8 bases on the season. David Cohn's last loss, June 4th against Montreal.
Right here, Von Hayes gets his second hit of the series against the Mets. He's now 2 for 6, puts a good move on it. His numbers are very good. Good, solid ball player.
Carmelo Martinez, the batter. It's really funny. 1-0 to Martinez. Did you see that glove of Mackey Sasser closing? You know, that's something I have never noticed. That shot of Von Hayes swinging, making contact, and Mackey Sasser's glove closing as though he were anticipating the ball being in there. Throw to first base. Hayes back.
Just don't close it too soon.
Here it is. Watch the glove of Mackey Sasser. Wow. I've never noticed that.
Anticipating that ball coming into the glove.
And Hayes roped it to right. 2 balls, no strikes to Martinez. So many things you do as a player, and you get up and you start to look at it on television, you don't even realize you did a lot of those things.
All reflex habit.
Way outside, 3 balls and no strikes to Martinez. We'll see if Nick Leyva gives him the green light.
Martinez has hit .306 lifetime against the Mets with 9 home runs. He's done much better against the Mets than against the rest of the league.
He was hitting, and he lines it to left center. So Martinez with the 3rd Phillies hit. The Phillies with runners at first and second as Hayes stopped at second. And that'll bring up Charlie Hayes.
Well, it's a 3-0 pitch, and he's turned loose on it. Gets a pitch right down the middle, and the result, a base hit.
Darren Dalton with his 5th home run in this inning. The first pitch off David Cone. And then with 2 out, Von Hayes singled, and now Carmelo Martinez is singled. Charlie Hayes, the batter. Good breaking ball from Cone. Charlie Hayes is batted 3rd through 8 in the lineup this year. Another breaking ball and a beauty. So no balls, 2 strikes to Hayes.
Hayes a dead fastball hitter. He likes that good fastball. Cone starts him off with 2 good curves. You could tell he's looking fastball right there as he buckles on the curve.
A knee locker. Came back with a fastball, and Hayes just missed it. That's a dangerous pitch right there by Cone.
He could ill afford a 3-run home run here.
Breaking ball way outside. A ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Hayes. David Cone in his last outing against the Braves. Very strong outing. 11 strikeouts. His high for the season. 12 against the Expos June 4th, but he lost that game. Breaking ball, line to right. Strawberry there, and he makes the play. The Phillies take the lead 1-0. They strand a couple of runners. We go to the 2nd after this from the 9X Yellow Pages. See Doc Gooden in the foreground of the Mets dugout. Doc threw tonight, and he had some soreness. There's Doc right there. He had some soreness in his shoulder, and he is expected to start against the Cardinals on Friday. Nothing serious, so we hear.
I think they're trying to make it more serious than it really is. At least I hope we're right.
Kevin McReynolds fouls it back. 0-1 to McReynolds.
They've been talking about that there was a possibility of a muscle separation, but the doctor did say that it happens to all hard-throwing pitchers. It happens many times.
That most muscle fibers in the back of the shoulder are stretched out anyway. You know, it's kind of an occupational hazard that the soreness is due to mild, and we repeat, mild and only slight tearing in the muscle fiber. It's no big deal. Sure, if you look at the shoulder of Nolan Ryan, who's going for 300 tomorrow night, it probably looks like the map of Europe. After the walls have been torn down. 2-2 to Kevin McReynolds. Fly ball, center field. Dykstra, 1 out. McReynolds is out of there. It's 1-0 Philadelphia. That'll bring up Howard Johnson. Pat Combs, a big guy, 6'4", 200 pounds, a #1 pick back in June of '88. And most of the time, if you're a #1 pick in June, you finish out the year like Ben McDonald did last year. #1 pick for the Orioles. But Combs had a reason not to. He didn't start his pitching career until '89. And the reason for that, he was the last cut, the USA representative team that went to Seoul, Korea. Fastball's a strike. A little delayed call from Tom Hallion. It's a ball and a strike to Johnson.
Ben McDonald pitching a shutout in his first major league game.
First start.
First start, yeah.
Shut out the White Sox, I believe, last Saturday. 1-1 to Hojo. Change cued back to Combs. And Combs gets Johnson out of his hair. 2 outs here in the 2nd.
We heard that. Did you hear that? I like that fellow that you had in the opening that the Fanatic was working on.
Polished off the Mets last night. The Phillies did that. The first career home run, grand slam home run by Dickie Thon. That was the last outing by Pat Combs against the Reds. He gave up 11 hits. That was last Thursday night. He won his 6th game of the season. Good curveball to Mackey Sasser, strike one.
One of the things you look at with the New York Mets is the fact that they'll be seeing a lot of left-hand pitching now that Darryl Strawberry is hot. Of course, Sasser's been hot, and the Mets have a losing record against left-hand pitchers so far.
They also have a losing record on the road, even though they've won 18 of 31 of their last 31. They are 21-23 on the road. 0-2 to Mackey Sasser. 2 outs, 1-0 Philadelphia. Popped up. Over near the stands, Carmelo Martinez makes the play. That's 6 in a row, retired by Pat Combs. 1-0 Philadelphia, middle of the second. We're back after this from the New York Daily News. A front came in last night in the Northeast and pushed all the humid air out of this area. It is a very, very comfortable evening here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Philly hitters have been comfortable against the Met pitchers last couple of nights. It's 1-0 here in the second. Dickie Thon, who had his first career grand slam home run of it in last night's ball game off Frank Viola. No balls, 1 strike to Dickie Thon. 0-2 to Dickie.
He's had 6 home runs against the Mets in his career, and he has a batting average of .280 against the Mets. And he was the batter that got hit by Mike Torres that ended his playing career for about a year. He's made a great comeback.
Fouls it back. He loves the ball up there. You know, he's only been hit 2 times since then.
That's amazing, isn't it? Well, right here, this is his first pitch with the bases loaded. It's a fastball right down the middle. We'll show it to you in a minute. Here it is. Frank Viola with the bases loaded last night, and the grand slam home run, his first major league grand slam home run.
Don't throw him up there.
They keep coming up there. He's going to hit another one out of the ballpark.
He doesn't usually foul that ball back. Frank Viola knows that.
He has good power for a little guy.
14 home runs last year. Sharply, good play by Howard Johnson on the short hop, and he guns out Thon. 1 out here in the second inning.
Well, that time David Cohn took some of his power away as he came back with a slider, and he hit the ball with a swing where he didn't have his weight behind it. He was out in front. Still hits the ball pretty well, but he is off balance as he hits this ball, and he doesn't get the power behind it.
Randy Reddy takes strike 1 from Cohn. This one hit deep to center. Back is Carry On, and he makes the play. Nice running catch by Mark Carry On, and there are 2 outs here in the second inning. Phillies are hitting an awful lot of balls hard, aren't they?
They certainly are. 3 hits in the first inning. The balls all hit hard, and right here, this ball drilled into deep center field. Carry On gets a good jump on it, puts it away.
That'll bring up Pat Combs, the pitcher, with 2 outs and nobody on. 1-0 Philadelphia. Cohn blew it by him.
Five hits so far this year. Pretty good swing on that ball.
This one hit fairly well to right field. Strawberry drifting back, middle of the track. So the Phillies are hitting the ball hard, but they have only 1 run to show for it. It's 1-0 Philadelphia after 2, and we're back after this from Manufacturers Hanover. 1-0 ball game. Phillies on top of the Mets here in the top of the 3rd inning, and Mario Diaz is the batter. And he fouls it back. He left his feet on that high fastball. Diaz facially looks a little bit like the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, Nick Leyva.
Go to the same barber.
Might be stretching it a bit, looking for his first hit with the Mets, and the curve is high. 1-1. Nick started growing that mustache during the All-Star break, and his wife liked it, so he kept it. It's a good reason.
Very good reason. He's more or less got his destiny in his hands here in the next 18 games, starting with yesterday. The Phillies play 15 of their next 18 games against the Mets and Pirates.
Sharply up the middle and by Dickie Thon. So Mario Diaz with the first hit of the game and his first National League hit.
This is the second game that he has started for the New York Mets. Kevin Elster has a tired shoulder, throwing shoulder, and they're going to give him the ball. His first National League base hit.
All right. He's saying, I like the turf over here. I liked it with Seattle, but I didn't get a chance to play too much.
And he uses the artificial turf up the middle. Gets it by Dickie Thon, the shortstop.
David Cone now the batter. David batting .234, an excellent hitting pitcher, but he's bunting, and he pops it up. Boy, had Combs dropped that ball, you might have a double play.
Well, David Cone didn't run. And if they had been alert, they could have dropped the ball, and Cone would have been left standing at home plate, and they could have picked up the double play. You got to run that ball out.
You can't touch it in the air and then drop it, but all you have to do is let it hit the turf first. You got a double play.
Now watch David Cone. He's down there watching it. He's not even thinking about the ball at all, and he's walking away from the plate. If he had let that ball bounce, it's a double play.
All you do, let it bounce. You go to second base and first base. Cone's not even running.
See where Carrion is. He's retreating to first.
Tell you, he really needs help on a ball like that. He can get it from Dalton. They're seeing Cone go back to the dugout. Carrion now takes a breaking ball high, ball 1. One nothing Philadelphia. 1 out here in the 3rd. Low, ball 2, 2-0. Outside, ball 3. You let him hit here, Ralph?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Although he's had a good home run ratio for the New York Mets. He's hit 7 home runs, but I think with Combs being a problem psychologically with the walk, you might want to let him think about that a little bit.
Now he's taken all the way, so he does walk. The second walk issued to Carrion. Combs has 2 walks in the game, and that'll bring up Dave Magadan. Darren Dalton out to talk to his battery mate.
And while we have this little chat, let's take a look at the Nissan National League scoreboard. Atlanta defeated Houston 9-3 today. Houston playing a doubleheader with Atlanta. The second game about to start. No score after 1. Pittsburgh and Montreal. Chicago and St. Louis later. Cincinnati and San Diego later. And San Francisco against the Dodgers later. San Francisco in deep trouble. They have lost 5 straight ball games. They're now 11 games back of Cincinnati.
Dave Magadan takes a curveball for strike 1.
How about that San Diego ball club? They've lost 8 straight games, and 21 of their last 24 games have been on the losing side. They're now in 5th place, falling to last place in the West.
Well, as a matter of fact, with that Atlanta win, they're only a half a game from being in last place. 1-1 to Magadan. 2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Philadelphia. We're in the third. The outfield for Magadan, rather strange. Hayes is straight away in right field, and Dykstra is toward left center. Magadan hits a lot of balls to right center field. And the curve is high. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to Magadan. I think you got to give Magadan the right field line.
Oh, yeah. He seldom pulls the ball right into the right field corner. He hits the ball more or less straight away or to the opposite field. Hayes is about straight away on him. Big gap in right center.
Ball 3 to Magadan. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 1 out. We're in the third. 1-0 Philadelphia. Darren Daulton solo home run on the first pitch as the second hitter, only scoring so far. Shallow center field. Len Dykstra lost that ball initially. Now he tracks it down. There are 2 outs here in the third. Might have been ball 4.
Ball looked high. And now let's take a look at the American League Nissan scoreboard. Yankees against Texas in Texas. Later on, Baltimore nothing, Detroit nothing. Top of the second inning, Kansas City 1, Toronto nothing. Bottom of the first, Cleveland playing in Chicago later. Seattle in Minnesota, Boston in Milwaukee, and California against Oakland.
Greg Jeffries popped out to shallow right field in the first inning. 2 outs now. Diaz at second and carry on at first. 1-0 Phillies. Curve hit sharply but foul down the left field line. No balls and a strike to Greg Jeffries. Outside, 1-1. Ground ball toward Hayes at third. The long throw gets him. So the Mets threaten but score. It's still 1-0, middle of the third. Philadelphia leading, and we're back after this from Tropicana.
David Raymond inside that outfit there, the Philly fanatic. It's got to be 180 degrees inside that suit.
A guy looking at the world through rose-colored glasses right there. The Philly fanatic. As Lenny Dykstra takes a breaking ball high, Dykstra grounded sharply to Magadan at first in the first. 1-0 Philadelphia. And Dykstra fouls it out of play.
The Mets have been trying to pitch Dykstra inside. So far, they've been successful. He's 0 for 4 in his 4 at-bats in this series. By standing up on that plate, you got to come in tight on him. He loves the ball away, and he likes to hit it to the opposite field. 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's ball game. As Tim pointed out, he leads the National League in walks and on-base percentage.
You can see that back foot is almost out of the batter's box. It's about 6 inches. A hitter should make contact about 6 inches away from the plate. You can see he's rubbed out that back line. He's probably out of the box right now. Umpires rarely check it if you're in the general vicinity. 3 balls, 1 strike to Dykstra. But check this back foot from this angle and see if it's 6 inches away from home plate. Right center. Strawberry can't get to it. It's by Carry-On. Dykstra's going to have at least 3. And here he comes. The throw to Sasser. Not in time. Dykstra with an inside the park home run. And really a bad base running play. Well, because with no out, there's no way he should be sent on that ball. 2-0 Phillies. A poor throw from Greg Jeffries in right center.
Well, he hits the ball a little looper. It's not well hit. Strawberry tries to get to it and can't, and it goes over Carry-On's head. Carry-On playing the ball off the wall as Dykstra is being sent in. The throw is to Jeffries, the cutoff man, and the throw home was not a good throw, off the line, and Dykstra jumps in there with that head first slide and makes it.
Here's Darren Daulton now. 2-0 Phillies. An inside the park home run by Len Dykstra.
This is his 5th home run of the year. And he is clearly safe. That's his first home run ever against the Mets.
When a play is that close with nobody out at home plate, it's a bad play. 1-1 to Darren Daulton. The relay throw from Carry-On to Greg Jeffries is probably the reason that the throw was poor coming home.
Jeffries had the short hop to throw.
Right. Always gets back to fundamentals. A short hop throw to Jeffries, a bad throw home, and the Phillies lead it 2-0. Ball and 2 strikes to Darren Daulton. Fouled away.
Here's what we were talking about on the relay. Carry-On playing it off the wall, and he throws it in on the short hop to Jeffries, who has to go down. He has to make a good catch of that ball to have any chance at all. And then it is a hurried throw home that is offline, and Dykstra has that good speed, and he makes it all the way around.
Not that we're here placing blame, but if you're going to do that on that throw, it's really more Carry-On's fault than it was Jeffries, because his relay throw was poor. 3-2 to Daulton. Make that 2-2. Still 2-2.
It was Dalton's home run that put the Phillies up 1-0 in the first, so 2 home runs for the scoring.
Fifth home run this year for Lenny Dykstra. Daulton jammed. Still 2-2.
Cone getting some movement on his fastball right now. He's got good action going.
Daulton hanging tough, still 2-2. Buddy Harrelson, the Mets manager, as we noted earlier, held a meeting before the game, kind of get the team to refocus. It hasn't worked yet. I think that's a good idea before things get too far out of hand. Not a bad deal to have a meeting and say, all right, guys,
got to keep pushing.
Mets have not played real well since the All-Star break. As you noted, Ralph, they're 6-7. Daulton down on strikes.
Well, when Bud took over the team, he took it over in Cincinnati. He lost his first game in Cincinnati, and that was a losing series, the only game they played in that series. And then he came to Philadelphia, lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. So he lost 3 of his first 4 games as manager of the Mets. He now has a record of 33-16 as manager. So he's made a tremendous comeback from that false start.
Slider for a strike to Tommy Herr, who flied to center. 2-0 Philadelphia. 2-4 and 0 for the Phillies. 0-1 and nothing for the Mets. The only hit by the Mets, Mario Diaz, single up the middle in the third inning. 1-1 to Tommy Herr. Jammed is Herr, and Magadan takes it easily. We were talking about it between innings, Ralph. I think one of the problems and the reason that the Phillies have been hitting a lot of balls hard is that Cone has been finding the middle of the plate.
He's wild in the strike zone.
Yeah. Von Hayes now single in the first inning. Outside, ball one. Five players were traded for Von Hayes back in the winter of 1982. And it's hard to believe that this is Hayes' 8th year with the Phillies. Low, ball two, 2-0.
And he signed a long-term contract with Philadelphia.
There's a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. The only player that is active of those 5, Julio Franco, who's now an all-star second baseman for the Texas Rangers. Most valuable player in the all-star game this year.
George Vukovich in that trade, Manny Trio, Jay Baller, and Jerry Woolard.
Actually, Baller up a brief period this year. And the curveball gets Hayes. Second strikeout of the inning for Cone. But Len Dykstra's inside the park home run makes it 2-0 after 3, and we'll be back after this from Mita Copiers. For the 4th inning, and in for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Tim McCarver and Darryl Strawberry will lead it off for the Mets. Darryl popped up to the shortstop his first time up. And he swings at a fastball and fouls it off. Darryl 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He's had 2 hits in his last 20 at bats. And the curveball inside, so the count 1-1. Mets have had a tough time here at Veterans Stadium. The Phillies have won 3 of the 4 games played. Overall, the Mets have won 4 of the 7 that they have played with Philadelphia. And the fastball for ball 2, 2 balls, 1 strike. Against left-handed starters, they have a record of 16 wins and 17 losses. This ball looped into left center field. Over there is Reddy. So 1 away as Reddy makes the catch. This game is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Lincoln Mercury dealers, featuring the Lincoln Town Car, Motor Trend's Car of the Year, and by Bell Atlantic. We're more than just talk. So the ominous clouds over the left field wall, and the batter for the Mets is Kevin McReynolds. McReynolds flied to center. With the Mets seeing so many left-handed starters, it's imperative that Kevin McReynolds and Howard Johnson come up with some big hits.
And Jeffries.
And this ball is again out in the outfield. This one skied to center field. Lenny Dykstra with the catch.
One of the problems with that, Ralph, as you look at the dirty uniform of Lenny Dykstra, one of the problems with that, a lot of right-handers have as much trouble with left-handers as left-handers do.
Well, I sure did.
You've told me that before, and I certainly understand that. I mean, occasionally you'll see a left-handed hitter hit left-handers better than right-handers. Barry Bonds is doing that this year. Will Clark has a lifetime about even, but it's unusual.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn's a good hitter against left-handers. Not too many left-handed hitters handle left-handed pitching very well. A left-hander can't throw a ball straight. It's a tail on it, sailing.
Howard Johnson bounced back to the pitcher his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. 1 for 3 in last night's ball game. And the fastball skied out to right center. This time Von Hayes will try it. Record is 7-4. He's now pitching to Carmelo Martinez, who singled his first time up. And the first pitch, a breaking ball for ball 1. Martinez hit a 3-0 fastball for a base hit to left field. And the fastball is fouled back out of play.
Martinez is a one-zone hitter. That's why he's never hit for a big average. He loves the ball upstairs. He's got power, but he's a real mistake hitter. He doesn't adjust real well to the balls down and away.
And there he takes the fastball. Pitch that he really should be swinging at. That's the one he likes. 1 for 2 in last night's ball game, so he's 2 for 3 so far in the 2 games, and the curveball gets him. So Cone, after giving up the inside the park home run, has struck out 3 of his last 4 batters. And with 1 out, the batter will be Charlie Hayes.
Here are the last 2 pitches with the count 1-1 to Martinez. Cone goes with a fastball, that Taylor right on the corner, and now a Taylor-made breaking ball locks him. That's that. You could see his approach there. There's no approach to the outside part of the plate, and all hitters that hit for average protect the outside part of the plate with 2 strikes.
And he starts off Charlie Hayes with a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Hayes lined out to right field in the first inning, a big out. Runners at first and second at the time, and he fouls off a fastball. Cone gave up a home run to Darren Dalton in the first, an inside the park home run to Lenny Dykstra in the third. He has given up 4 hits. And it's chopped out to the shortstop, Diaz. Mario over to first with a lob throw, 2 men away. Diaz playing shortstop for the Mets, his second game start. Kevin Elster out of the lineup with a tired shoulder.
Joe McIlvaine, upon first hearing about Elster's shoulder, went out and got Diaz on the 19th of June. He was called up on the 16th of July. But Joe McIlvaine getting him as insurance in case Elster's arm problems appeared serious, and they have rather serious, enough for him to miss 6 or 7 games so far.
Dickie Thon, the batter, taking the first pitch, a fastball for ball 1. Thon grounded out the third his first time up. Cone back with the curve. 2 balls, no strikes. Diaz with 11 years in the minor leagues. Perseverance. Had a couple of cups of coffee with Seattle, so he did get into the major leagues, but spending the majority of his time over those 11 years in the minors. And the fastball fouled back. Two and 2 the count. Thon hitting .255. He's been a second half hitter most of his career. He's done his best hitting in the second half of a season. And the ground ball to the shortstop, Diaz. A quick throw to first base, just does get there in time. And the side is retired in order for the second time by David Cone. The score at the end of 4. The Phillies 2 and the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from MetLife. Well, a proposal on the message board here in the ballpark, and this young man has just asked this pretty girl to marry her. It's getting to her. How about that? Had the message on the board.
It's not getting to him. I mean, he's got to be a little more emotional.
And Mackey Sasser drives it hard to right, and a diving try by Von Hayes. It gets on by Sasser running hard. Now goes into second base, and he has a double. The Mets get their second hit. And Sasser with a double. And Sasser, as you know, playing with a torn ligament or a sprained ankle, one or the other or both.
See, Jeff Mitchell, our producer, is so clever Right out of that shot, Mackey Sasser gets a curve. Hayes dives, he can't get it, and Sasser has to hold at second. One proposal to the other.
So the Mets with a runner in scoring position with no one out, and Mario Diaz, who has the other base hit in this game for the Mets, the batter. And he takes a fastball. Diaz with his first hit in the National League, his first time up.
That guy just proposed, though, was not very emotional on that proposal. He's got to put a little more animation in that.
He's going to have a tough time taking it back. 40,000 people as witnesses. This ball fouled away, and they counted 1-1. Well, that's not the guy. No. There they go.
Oh, that's great. That is terrific.
Reminds me of Mookie Wilson, who got married in the ballpark at Jackson, Mississippi.
Don't delay when you say that reminds me
no,
of.
I shouldn't delay. You're right. And this ball popped up on the first base side. Martinez with an easy play, and he puts it away. But Mookie got married on the baseball diamond in Jackson, and he said that's the way that he could promise his wife a big diamond.
Got married at home plate, right?
Yeah, right at home plate. So one away, and David Cone, the batter. David tried to bunt his way on in the third inning on a sacrifice and popped it up.
I don't know, and I'm not, you know, I'm obviously for marriage. I've been married a lot of times, but I mean,
you mean
not a lot
time.
of times,
now,
a lot of years.
Don't get nervous.
No,
don't get nervous now.
A lot of years, not a lot. One time for a lot of years. But I don't know. I'm a little more romantic. I don't know if I would take my wife to be to a ballpark in front of 40,000 people to propose to her.
You don't think Ann would have gone for that?
No, I don't think so.
This one looped down the left side. If it's fair, it's a base hit, but it is foul.
Would Diane Kiner have gone for that?
No. No.
I mean, this is not exactly a candlelight ceremony here, is it? It's a lit ceremony.
I've always wondered, when you do something like that, what would happen if they turn you down?
Your name wouldn't go up in lights. They had it on the board here, the big board.
2-1 the count to David Cone, who has 8 base hits. He has not driven in a run this year. Last year he led all pitchers in base hits with 18. He hits it hard, but at the shortstop Thon over the first for the out. So Sasser, who had a leadoff double, is still at second, and the batter coming up, Mark Carrion. Carrion with no official at-bats. He has walked twice. The only 2 walks issued by Pat Combs. And the fastball for ball 1. Carrion in the leadoff position in the batting order, hitting .326 with 3 home runs. And the curveball for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. And did he swing? He did not, so it's 3-0. Eric Gregg, the first base umpire, just wrote a book called Behind the Plate. Eric has lost 68 pounds, I believe he told me. Was on a special diet routine when he was at Duke University. It wasn't the rice diet. It was another type of diet. He says you can eat when you're
No, it's
on
the
that
Duke diet, not the rice diet.
That's right. That's swelt figure. Give or take a little.
National League President Bill White encouraged him to do it, and Eric very thankful for that.
Now the 3-0 pitch. It's called a strike, so it's 3-1. Mets trying to get on the scoreboard. They're trailing 2-0. A runner at second. And Carrion pops it up. Martinez, the first baseman. And the Mets do not score in spite of a leadoff double by Mackey Sasser. The score at the end, 4.5 innings. The Phillies 2, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from Bud Light. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and Sterling Doubleday Enterprises LP and WWOR-TV is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging a admission for its showing, is also prohibited. And now here's Tim McCarver.
All right, Ralph. Randy Reddy leads it off. It takes strike one from David Cone. It's 2-0 Philadelphia here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Reddy fly deep to center his first at bat, and the fastball outside. 1-1 to Randy. Fly ball shallow right. Jeffrey's back, and he makes the play. One away here in the 5th inning. 7 in a row now retired by Cone since Len Dykstra's inside the park home run in the 3rd inning. The other run, a solo home run on the first pitch by Darren Dalton, batting second in the 1st inning. 2-0 Philadelphia, and Pat Combs coming up. I guess you could say we've had 3 home runs tonight. 2 on the field, 1 off the field. A gentleman hitting a home run, proposing to his wife-to-be. And you start your disclaimer with Jeff Mitchell showing that couple in the stands. I really don't know what that means.
Let's not try to read too much into anything.
Maybe a coy reminder. 2 balls and a strike to Pat Combs.
I wonder if it means that anything that he had that Cracker Jack box down there.
For the ring.
For the ring.
2-2 to Combs. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 5th. Blazing fastball gets Combs with 2 out and nobody on. Len Dykstra coming up, and he'll get a hand.
Right here, David coming right back with a fastball, overpowering Pat Combs, the pitcher. And Mike Covage positioning the outfield with Lenny Dykstra stepping in.
Lenny 1 for 2, his 5th home run, and inside the Parker, his last at bat, and the curveball, strike 1. Huh. Lenny Dykstra changing expressions. How unusual. And you know, another unusual thing, a dirty uniform.
Well, this fastball down around the feet. Dykstra goes down hard. They don't call him Nails for nothing. One and one to Dykstra. Ball and 2 strikes.
the groundskeeper for the, I should say the clubhouse man, the equipment manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. They had new dirt put in around the bases and around home plate. And the equipment manager said all the old dirt's in Len Dykstra's uniform. And you could see why. Jammed. Tough play. Diaz. Got him. Nice play by Mario Diaz. That's 9 in a row now retired by Cone. We go to the 6th after this from AT&T. Dave Magadan leads it off here in the top of the 6th. The Mets looking for a run. And the first pitch from Pat Combs is high. 2-0 Philadelphia. Magadan on the night 0 for 2. He has popped a shallow center and hit a ball hard to right field. Two balls, no strikes to Dave Magadan. It's on the corner. 2 balls and a strike to Magadan. The Mets have been shut out only 2 times this year. They are tied with the Giants for the fewest shutouts as a team in the National League. Tapper up the middle. Tommy Herr throws out Magadan. 1 out here in the 6th. If you're wondering why it's 2-0 Philadelphia, here are the reasons. Bottom of the 1st, Darren Daulton on the first pitch hit a solo home run. It was 1-0 Philadelphia until Len Dykstra, with leading off the 3rd inning, hit an inside the park home run, a very close play at home, and that's one of the reasons that Lenny looks like he does right now. 2-0 Philadelphia. Here's Jeffries, and he takes ball 1. Fouled out of play. 1-1 to Jeffries. The Mets have had only 4 base runners. A walk to Mark Carrion in the 1st inning. Carrion also walked in the 3rd with Diaz at first, and with runners at 1st and 2nd. Magadan and Jeffries couldn't push him across, and then a leadoff double by Mackey Sasser in the 5th inning, and he was stranded at 2nd. Ball and 2 strikes to Jeffries. Buddy Harrelson, the shortstop on the World Championship Mets back in '69, on the pennant-winning Mets in '73. He was an excellent major league shortstop. He had an interesting remark the other day. He said, you know, I was the best shortstop in Met history until Kevin Elster came along. It was a very honest but uncharacteristic remark by Buddy as Jeffries goes down on strikes. That's the first strikeout of the ball game recorded by Pat Combs. 2 out now here in the 6th inning.
Combs pulls the string in this one, gets him with a changeup. Jeffries way out in front. Well, Bud Harrelson undoubtedly was the best
Absolutely.
shortstop. But Elster, an outstanding player in his own right as a defensive player.
But he was saying that tongue-in-cheek when he said it, obviously. And this one tight to Strawberry. So a ball and no strikes. I wonder if that was in retaliation to Dykstra being knocked down. Don't know.
Something to think about.
Slider misses. 2-0 to Strawberry. The Phillies were in a fight with the Cincinnati Reds last Friday night. Rather serious. As a matter of fact, Steve Lake, the catcher for the Phillies, was put on the disabled list on Saturday. 3-0 to Strawberry.
Almost had another fight with Cincinnati when Dickie Thon had one that was under his chin.
From Jose Rio, right.
They didn't actually come to blows, but they did empty the dugouts. Norm Charlton was the instigator of the first fight.
Well, Strawberry walks on 4 pitches. That is the 3rd walk given up by Combs, and that'll bring the potential tying run to the plate. Kevin McReynolds.
Buddy Harrelson in that fight with Pete Rose in the 1973 playoff game said, "I gave him my best punch, my chin to his fist."
Curve, a high strike. McReynolds' last home run, his 13th, was on July 3rd. So it's been over 3 weeks since he's unloaded on one, and he went too far. No balls, 2 strikes to McReynolds. Way outside. See if he comes back with that slider. That one down and in. It's a ball and 2 strikes to McReynolds. Grounded left side. Thon goes to second for the force out. The Mets bats have been quiet this evening. Only 2 hits. They trail 2-0. We're back after this from one of our sponsors. In the top of the 5th inning. Well, they are no longer here, and our producer Jeff Mitchell says that she wanted to stay, but he didn't.
Obviously,
oh, that's great.
They've gone to pick out the wedding dress. Right?
Oh, that's wonderful. Darren Daulton takes a breaking ball outside. It was Dalton's homer that put the Phillies on the board in the 1st inning. And Darren fouls one back. Speaking of being married, Darren and his wife Lynn, new parents. 1-1 to Darren Daulton. Low, ball 2, 2-1. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Philadelphia over the Mets. Foul back and right above us. 2-2 to Daulton. Breaking ball, and it looked like it clipped Mackey Sasser on the thigh. Mackey appears to be all right. Still 2-2 to Darren Daulton, leading off the 6th inning. 2-0 Phillies. Sharply at Jeffries. Good play by Greg Jeffries. That's 10 in a row. Retired by David Cohn. 1 out here in the 6th.
You could hang your clothes on this one. This is a shot, a bullet. Right off the bat of Dalton. Low fastball, and he lines it. Jeffries picks it right out of the air. Good play.
You know, Ralph, when you said that, I would imagine that there are a lot of young people out there who don't remember clotheslines. It's a ball to Tommy Herr. 1-0.
I bet there are.
Clothes are dried in different ways nowadays. Dryers and everything. My mom never had a dryer.
That was one of the dreaded moments of my evening when I had to go hang the clothes on the line.
Tapped toward third, and Diaz looking at Johnson allows it to drop, and Herr has probably the shortest double in recent history. Oh boy, a mix-up between Johnson and Diaz, and Herr with a double. Kerr plunk.
Diaz really didn't have time to get over there to get under it. It wasn't hit that high, and Johnson giving up on it. And Diaz with the dive, but he can't make the play. So Howard Johnson thinking Diaz would be there, and it dropped in for a 2-base hit. Ball actually dropping where the dirt part of the infield would normally be.
I think you made the point of the play. I think that's Howard Johnson's ball all the way. As you said, the ball wasn't hit high enough for Diaz to get under it, and Hojo gave up too quickly on the ball. Anyway, it goes as a double. And here's Von Hayes, who's 1 for 2. Outside corner, strike 1.
This is only the 3rd game that Johnson has played with Diaz at short. And having been used to Elster in his range, maybe he thought that the ball was automatic for the shortstop, but you never know for sure.
Maybe. No balls, 1 strike to Von Hayes. Her at second with 1 out. 1-1. You're watching Mets Baseball 90 on WWOR-TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. Tim McCarver, Ralph Kiner bringing you the action here at the Vet in Philadelphia. Hayes jammed on the fastball, and Jeffries will handle it easily as Herr moves to third with 2 outs.
That'll get some smiles and some laughter out of the Philly players. That bat just shattered on that ball that he was jammed on, and players will never let you live that down.
Go back in the dugout, and guys are saying the ball wasn't carrying, huh? if they know you can take it, if they know you're upset about it, however, they stay away from you.
You don't want to say that to someone in a batting slump.
No. Martinez takes a breaking ball outside.
Got to be careful here with a wild pitch.
Breaking ball for a strike. A ball and a strike to Carmelo Martinez with Tommy Herr at third. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Philadelphia. Hit deep to left field, and that's what we were talking about earlier, that high fastball. Martinez got it. It's 4-0 Philadelphia. I mean, he hit that ball like a BB.
Well, that little bloop double dropping in gets 2 runs for the Phillies as Martinez takes that fastball right in his alley and just puts it out of sight. For Martinez, his 8th home run of the year, his 23rd and 24th RBIs, the 3rd home run given up by Cone in this game. He now has given up 14 on the year, and that is Martinez's 10th home run against the Mets.
Charlie Hayes now takes a fastball inside. You talk about a fastball in a guy's wheelhouse, but not for long. That ball got out of here about as quickly as any you'll ever see. 1-1 to Hayes. Only 6 hits for the Phillies, but half of them have been home runs. Ball and 2 strikes now to Charlie Hayes. Hayes down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Cone, but the Phillies strike for 2 more. And as Ralph said, that bloop misplayed double deadly in the 6th. It's 4-0 Philadelphia. We're back from your
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Those walks, I'll tell you, Ralph, 4 straight balls out of the strike zone to Howard Johnson, and now Combs is going to come back and say, Now I've really got to get ahead of Sasser. Mackey knew that, pounced on that first pitch.
Same thing on Dickie Thon, as Frank Viola had walked
Exactly.
7.
Exactly.
And he hit the grand slam home run that did the Mets in.
And that's why we talk all the time. It's not necessarily that you walk hitters. It's what happens when you do walk hitters and what you're trying to do. Now you're too cautious. That's when you become wild in the strike zone. Big league hitters bomb you then.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Action in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Like Dennis Cook, the left-hander, and Joe Baver, the right-hander. Joe just acquired from the Atlanta Braves.
And the 3-2 pitch fouled off. Pitcher is due up next, so the Mets have Tim Tuffle on deck. Mets trailing now 4-2 after the 2-run home run by Mackey Sasser. And this ball hit down to third, fielded by Charlie Hayes, who has made only 9 errors at third base this year, and that's the first out here in the 7th.
Charlie Hayes deserves a lot of credit. He was criticized last year for his defense. He made 22 errors in 3 months after coming to the Phillies from San Francisco. And this spring, nobody worked harder than Charlie Hayes. The Phillies have an AstroTurf field next to their complex down in Florida, in Clearwater, Florida, and Hayes went back there with Larry Boa, who was an outstanding major league shortstop, John Vukovic, and they worked and worked and worked, and it's really paid dividends this year.
Leads all third basemen in percentage fielding. And instead of Tuffle coming up, it's going to be Keith Miller as the pinch hitter. Miller hitting .285 on the year, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. And he has an idea about bunting to get on. That would bring the tying run to the plate. First pitch, a ball. Miller as a pinch hitter, 3 for 12, batting .250. Ball 2, 2-0. David Cone out of the game, trailing 4-2. A strike, 2-1. All the runs scoring against Cone coming on home runs, 2 solo home runs and a 2-run home run by Martinez. The solo home runs by Darren Dalton and Lenny Dykstra, and Dykstra's home run was an inside the Parker. Ball hit hard and the base hit to left. So Miller singles, and that will bring the tying run to the plate.
I think that might be all for Pat Combs, as Nick Leva's taken the trip. And again, falling behind in the count. A 2-1 pitch. Combs had to come in there, and Miller spanks it to left.
So Leva to the mound. Pat Combs has worked into the 7th inning of this game, leading by a score of 4-2. And now we do see the new pitcher coming in the ball game, a right-hander, Joe Baver, making his first appearance for the Philadelphia Phillies. This call of the bullpen is brought to you by New York Telephone, who reminds you that we're all connected. In the left-hand batter up, and behind him Jeffries a switch hitter and Strawberry a left-hand batter. So Dennis Cook will probably be brought into this game, although Leva seems to be, now he's making the sign. That's it. It'll be Dennis Cook who'll come in the ball game with a count 1-0 on Magadan. So Baver gets 1 out and leaves the game. And while Dennis Cook comes into the game, Here's a word from Bud Light.
The left-hander to face Dave Magadan with the count of ball and no strikes. It's not necessarily the numbers that the only interesting thing about Dennis Cook. He has a most unusual habit of dusting his cap with rosin before he enters a game. Now this cap appears to be new, but you can see the rosin on the back of his cap. There it is right there. He puts the rosin on the inside and the outside of his cap. Only a left-hander would do that, Rob. He's a beauty, this guy. Loved by the players. I mean, loved by the players. Very, very popular.
This is his 24th game. He's made 12 game starts, and now working with a time run at the plate. And the first pitch that he throws is ball 2. When Joe Weber left the game, the count was 1 ball and no strikes on Magadan. Mets with 2 runs in here in the 7th, trailing 4-2. 2-run home run by Mackey Sasser. All the runs have scored at home runs in this game. And there's a strike.
One of the big reasons he's loved by the players is he was the guy on Friday night who entered the game and hit Norm Charlton. He and Charlton are friends. They were both ejected because Charlton went around the home plate umpire and charged Cook. Both ejected. Steve Lake was put on the DL. This, I believe, is his first appearance since last Friday night. He plunked Charlton on the left thigh.
The 2-1 pitch and grounded right back to Cook. That will end the inning, but the Mets do get 2. They had 2 hits and left 1 in scoring position, and the score at the end of 6.5 innings, the Phillies 4 and the Mets 2. And we'll return, and the Mets return to Shea this Thursday for an exciting 5-game series against their longtime rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. Thursday's twilight doubleheader begins at 5:05 p.m. Friday's game starts at 7:35. Saturday, Sports Illustrated for Kids Cycle Products Day is already sold out, but tickets are still available for Lincoln Mercury Team Poster Night on Sunday. Game time on Sunday is 8:05 p.m. To get your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or 212-399-4494 for Ticketron outlet information. Well, Keith Miller in the ball game. He was up as a pinch hitter and will stay in the game and take over in center field, and a new pitcher for the Mets.
Numbers on Machado. His last appearance in the major leagues was about 5 weeks ago, the 16th of June. He has had 1 appearance against the Phillies this year. That was back on the 3rd of June. He worked 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, no runs.
Just coming back from Tidewater, he had a record of 0-1 there with 8 saves, and the hard-throwing right-hander misses with a fastball. He had a good earned run average at Tidewater, 1.26. He was in 13 games. In 17 innings, he struck out 18. Machado working to Dickie Thon, and he falls behind 2-0 to Thon, who is 0 for 2. The 2-0 pitch and the fastball hit in the air to shallow left center. Miller with his first chance, 1 away. The Phillies leading by a score of 4-2 as they bat here in the 7th inning with 1 man out, and Randy Reddy will be the next batter. Reddy 0 for 2, flied out the deep center in the 2nd, popped up to the second baseman in his other at bat in the 5th inning. And a strike. And the fastball pulled down the left field line, foul. So Machado in front with a 2-strike count. And the fastball hit off to the first base side, fielded very well by Maggott, and a throw to Machado for the out. So 2 men out. And that'll bring up Dennis Cook.
Don't think he's an out man either. 39 for 31 on the season. He's also been used as a pinch hitter 3 times. He's 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter.
Batting .290 for the year with 1 home run, 3 runs batted in.
He was a right fielder on that University of Texas team and could really hit. That was a team that included Roger Clemens, Greg Swindell.
And he has an idea about bunting his way on.
I wonder if he puts rosin in his helmet too.
How are you going to keep it on? And another fastball in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. He was converted from an outfielder to a pitcher in college. And he fouls off this pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. He was San Francisco's 18th round selection in the June 1985 draft. Pitched a 6-hit shutout in his last game for the Giants and then was traded to the Phillies. And that ball fouled away, so it's 2-2. Phillies in that trade got Terry Mulholland, a good pitcher, Charlie Hayes, who's playing an outstanding third base, and Cook for Steve Bedrosian. This ball hit into center field, moving Miller back. And Machado works a 1-2-3 inning. The score at the end of 7. Philadelphia 4, the Mets 2. Now here's for Philadelphia. Phillies used 4 left fielders in yesterday's ball game. One of them was Sill. And as the Mets come up here in the 8th inning, trailing 4-2, it's going to be Greg Jefferies leading off. Jefferies, Strawberry, and McReynolds as the Mets try to get back in this ball game. Jefferies 0 for 3, batting for the first time against Dennis Cook, and the first pitch a fastball, strike 1. Cook retired the only batter he faced in the 7th inning. Misses with an off-speed pitch in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitcher record in this game, Pat Combs, who started the game, went 6 in the 3rd innings, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. And there's a strike call, 1-2. Joe Baver pitched 1/3 of an inning. And now Dennis Cook working here in the 8th inning. Jefferies came into the game hitting .300, 0 for 3. And it's bounced right back to Cook, and for the 2nd time he has retired a batter with an assist.
Nissan American League scoreboard shows New York at Texas, a rain delay. Remember, tomorrow night, Nolan Ryan going for victory number 300. Remarkable. 2-0 Detroit over Baltimore in the 5th. 1-0 Toronto over Kansas City in the 4th. No score Cleveland at Chicago. The same Seattle and Minnesota. Boston over Milwaukee. Boy, the Red Sox been struggling. And California at Oakland later on.
And Darryl Strawberry the batter, and he takes the strike. Darryl 0 for 2 with a walk. And there's a good fastball. Strike 2. Good crowd here tonight, 43,235. Similar to last night's attendance. And the Phillies trying to stay in the race. They have a record of 46-46. They're 9 games out. And this pitch a ball, so it's 1-2. Phillies did get into first place. They were in there one day. Taking over first from the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cincinnati has been in first place from the opening day of the season.
Winning 9 in a row to start the season off. The problem with the Phillies, they haven't had any pitching. Nick Leyva really working without a starting rotation for the 2nd year in a row. He says that this year is better, but still no set rotation, especially with Ken Howell, their big right-hander, out.
And Strawberry fouls off the fastball. Cook, for example, started 12 games and then was relegated to the bullpen. This is his 24th game, so his 12th appearance as a relief pitcher. Two and 2 the count. And it's hit off the fist into center field for a base hit. Dykstra takes it on the bounce, and the Mets have the time run at the plate.
Well, if you're thinking about a home run, you're probably thinking along with the rest of the Mets. Darrell gets jammed right here, but he sinks it in front of Dykstra at center field. We've said earlier that McReynolds has not had a homer since July 3rd. Dennis Cook was the worst pitcher as far as his rate of home runs last year was concerned. 1 for every 6.7 innings. So he gives up a lot of home run balls.
And he starts off with an off-speed pitch, and it's called a ball. One ball to Kevin McReynolds, and he jumps back away from a fastball for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Roger McDowell starting to throw in the bullpen for the Phillies. McDowell in last night's ball game to pick up a save.
It's a tough choice. McDowell gets ready in a hurry. You leave Cook in to face McReynolds, because if you bring McDowell in to face McReynolds, McDowell also has to face Johnson unless McReynolds hits into a double play. And Hojo, a much better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter. Cook on that last pitch, that ball really got away from him.
Looked like he hurt his arm.
Well, you never know. If you put rosin on your cap, you don't know what a grimace is.
And now 3-0. McReynolds third in the National League in walks. He has 54. On deck batter Howard Johnson. Phillies leading 4-2. The Mets with a time run at the plate. And a strike call, so it's 3-1. McReynolds with 13 home runs. He's hit 18 against the Phillies in his major league career. The 3-1 pitch, a fastball lined to left field for a base hit. Strawberry to second and holding there. So the Mets now with a time run at first with 1 man out here in the 8th inning. And the batter coming up, Howard Johnson.
Tell you, this is a tough situation for Nick Leyva. Hojo, well, here comes Leyva. Might make it easy on us. I mean, Cook throws a lot of home run balls, but Johnson is a much better hitter from the left side. He loves the low fastball.
Johnson from the left-hand side hitting .257 as a right-hand batter, .214. And Johnson has hit more home runs left-handed, 11 to 4 from the right-hand side.
Plus, Cook's been going well, and McDowell's been struggling. Tough choice right here.
So with Roger McDowell, the ex-Met, coming into the ball game and Cook leaving, here's a word from Budweiser.
The 4th Phillies pitcher And Roger has been struggling, and that's why they went out to get Joe Baber. Also Darrell Ackerfels, who won last night's ball game, another right-hander. But McDowell does have 15 saves, but look at that ERA.
He worked in last night's game, picked up his 15th save, worked 1 in the 3rd innings, gave up no hits and no runs while striking out 2. He didn't pitch to Howard Johnson in last night's game. So the Mets with runners at 1st and 2nd. They need 2 to tie. 1 man out here in the top of the 8th inning, and Howard Johnson the batter. Howard 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Strawberry, the runner at second base. McReynolds on at first. And the first pitch hit to left center field. It's going to be extra bases. 2 runs might score. Strawberry comes around third. He'll score. McReynolds behind him. He'll score, and the Mets have tied it up.
Now, this is what we were talking about. Howard Johnson turned around to the left side. He gets a high sinker and, I mean, crushes it into left center field. Strawberry scores easily. So does McReynolds without a play, and we got a tie ball game.
And the Mets with the go-ahead run at second as Howard Johnson picks up his 55th and 52nd runs batted in, and Mackie Sasser the batter. He takes a fastball.
Excuse me, Ralph. I don't know if I'd pitch to Sasser here. Fastball hitter, low ball hitter. Last time up, a low fastball. Watch. Home run, Mackie Sasser. He loves that pitch down in the strike zone.
And again, it's low. 2-0. Sasser with a double and a home run in this game. Against Philadelphia, he has a lifetime average coming into this game of .396. This year he's hit 6 hits off of them before this game. This ball hit the deep right field, way back, going, and it is gone. Goodbye. The Mets take the lead 6-4.
I haven't seen that kind of emotion in a Mets dugout since 1986. A Philadelphia scrambling of their pitchers has turned into Philadelphia scrapple here at the Vet.
That is only the 2nd home run given up by Roger McDowell this year, but it is a big one. Mackie Sasser with his 2nd home run of the game, and the Mets leading 6-4, and Mario Diaz taking the first pitch.
Buddy Harrelson had Darrell Boston out to pinch hit for Diaz before they pitched to Sasser. And now Diaz will hit for himself.
And he hits one on the ground to the second baseman. Tommy Herr with the throw to first for the out. So the Mets with 4 runs here in the top of the 8th inning, taking the lead 6-4. Pat Coombs, who's on the winning side, is now with a no decision.
Can you remember seeing that dugout, that jumping?
1986 is right. And it's Keith Miller hitting, and he's batting for the 2nd time. He was a pinch hitter and singled in the 7th. Sasser, the hero of this ball game, and he gets that drink of water.
First multi-hit game, multi-home run game in his career. That's 5 for the season now.
And McDowell with a breaking ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-2.
Mackey Sasser with 2 home runs, 2 major league home runs coming into this year. He's matched that tonight. Here's the first one, a low fastball off Pat Combs. And now another one, a low fastball off Roger McDowell. He got all of it.
And Miller strikes out to end the inning, but 4 big runs for the New York Mets on 4 hits. No one left on base to score at the end of 7.5 innings. The Mets 6 and the Philadelphia Phillies 4. And here's a word from Nike.
The market today kind of like the Mets today. The market took a drubbing yesterday, and look at the market today, up 17 points. The Mets with a drubbing last night. They bounce back tonight. Standard & Poor 500s today up about $0.50. Gold down $1.20, and silver down 7 cents. That's our American Express financial update.
That is at the close today. The Mets still haven't closed this game. They have.
This is about what, about 3:15 market time.
Right.
It closes at
the bell hasn't run yet.
No.
Buddy Harrelson now to talk to the home plate umpire, and it looks like he's going to possibly make a double switch.
He may make a double switch, but you know what I think he was doing as much as anything? He is going to make a double switch. Going to put Darryl Boston. He could have made that double switch before the inning began, but John Franco wasn't loose yet. Franco had just gotten up after the Sasser home run, so Buddy was going to let John get looser. As you see Boston getting loose, and that's why he sent Machado out there. So Franco had that time period, and now he'll have 8 more pitches to get ready. Good move.
Well, Franco coming in, Machado going out, and Machado with a chance to pick up a victory after working a 1-2-3 inning. And while Franco takes his warm-up pitches, here's a word from AT&T.
The shrewder the move is by Buddy Harrelson. Instead of bringing Franco in to begin the inning, he wasn't ready. So he allowed Machado to warm up, and then when Machado was through warming up, he was ready to pitch to Dykstra. That's when Harrelson made the double switch. So Boston is batting first, and he'll lead off the top of the 9th, and the Mets have their ace reliever in there.
John Franco with a record of 4-0. He leads the National League in saves with 21. Boston now the center fielder. And the leadoff batter will be Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra has changed his uniform.
Holy cow. He has.
1 for 3 in this game, an inside the park home run back in the 3rd inning. His 5th home run of the year, and he takes a strike, a fastball for strike 1. Dykstra, the National League leader in hitting with a .350 average coming into this game. 16-point lead over Barry Bonds of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So John Franco back to Dykstra, and it's grounded foul as Franco stays inside on Dykstra.
Yeah, he can eat left-handers up inside. He really runs that ball in on left-handers. Not to say he can't pitch them away, but he is a tough assignment for left-handed hitters. Watch how he runs this ball in. Nope, not that one. That was Roger McDowell, the home run to Mackey Sasser.
Putting the Mets up by a score of 6-4. And this ball fouled off. In last night's ball game with Dykstra hitting, Kevin McReynolds was playing a much too deep outfield. He shallowed up a little bit, shortened up a little bit in left. He's still fairly deep.
That's one of the problems Dykstra had as a Met, those lazy fly balls the other way.
And this sinking fastball in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dykstra's inside the park home run was a little fly ball out into right center. Strawberry tried to get to it and didn't. It bounced over the head of Carrion, who was playing center field, rolled all the way to the fence, and Dykstra was waved all the way around, and a very interesting play because there was no one out at the time. Third base coach sending him in. He just did beat the throw. Been no doubt you'd send him around with 2 men out. With no one out, it was a real gamble, and they were lucky to win it. One ball, 2 strikes as Franco comes back to Dykstra and misses with a fastball. 2-2. David Cohn, the starting pitcher, off the hook now. He was on the losing side, leaving the ball game with the Mets trailing 4-0. Machado a chance to get a victory. He has 2 now against 1 loss, and Franco a chance to pick up his 22nd save, and he gets a strikeout on the fastball.
Lenny can be running a heartbeat.
He's going to be run. Somebody's going to be run. Tom Hallion watching as Dykstra went back to the dugout. He actually did not throw his helmet. He dropped it in a hard way. And it's going to be Hal Lanier, one of the coaches of the Philadelphia Phillies, that will be run as Leyva talks it over with Hallion.
You may have a double pop. Dykstra might be fined for throwing his helmet and his bat. That's why Jerry Crawford came in, and then Lanier is run from the game. And here's the last pitch. It's understandable. This is not clearly a strike. I'll tell you, that ball could have been low. Well, but from that angle, you see it was a strike. It was above the knees.
So Dykstra called out on strikes, and as he goes back to the bench, he takes both his helmet and his bat and throws them down. He didn't throw them far from his own person. We'll see what happens there as you look at Darren Dalton at the plate. Dalton with a home run in the first inning on his first pitch. He has struck out and lined out, so he's 1 for 3. Mets leading by 2. Bottom half of the 8th inning with 1 away. Good fastball there. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're watching Mets Baseball 90 on WWR TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. And another good sinking fastball, and Dalton is struck out. No argument this time.
Well, we said it before the inning started, and if you're familiar with John Franco, you know how he just eats left-handers up. Well, I mean, the bottom dropped out of that ball. Hard sinker.
So 2 men out. And the batter will be Tommy Hurd. Tommy with a bloop double. The ball didn't go out of the infield over the head of Howard Johnson.
It was a short double, wasn't it?
Shortest of the year. And he takes that sinking fastball, strike 1. That was the big play of the game until Sasser's 2-run home run that put the Mets up. And Johnson's double that tied it. Because after Hurd had the blue double, Martinez homered to give the Phillies a 4-0 lead. Another good fastball.
Ralph, the Baltimore Orioles took their 5-game winning streak into Detroit tonight, and Jeff Robinson, through 7 innings, has a no-hitter. Jeff, a right-hander for the Detroit Tigers. So it's through 7 innings. He is throwing a no-hitter against the Baltimore Orioles, and I believe the score is 5-0. Detroit after 7.
And the fastball right through for strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, and the score at the end of 8. The Mets 6 and the Phillies 4. Now here's a word from General Electric. And for the Mets, as they lead by a score of 6-4 here in the top of the ninth inning, it'll be Darrell Boston batting for the first time. On the mound, Roger McDowell, and the first pitch a breaking ball for ball one. Boston hitting .282. He has 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. And he fouls off a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets down 4-0 after 6 innings. Scored 2 in the 7th on a 2-run home run by Mackey Sasser, and 4 runs in the 8th. 2 of them driven in by a double on with Howard Johnson at the bat, and then another 2-run home run by Mackey Sasser to put the Mets up by a score of 6-4. Sasser's home run coming off Roger McDowell. McDowell also gave up the double to Howard Johnson that saw the Mets tie it. And a good sinking fastball, and Boston is struck out.
Fans, after every game this season, points will be awarded to Met pitchers for the AT&T Long Distance Award. Here's how it works. I think you're familiar with our AT&T Long Distance Award. For every inning pitched, you get a point. We'll also add in the fractions. If a pitcher is credited with a complete game, he gets a bonus point. At the end of the season, the man on top will win the AT&T Long Distance Award. $10,000 to his favorite charity.
And Dave Magadan takes a fastball for ball one. Magadan 0 for 4 in the game. Mets about hit Philadelphia 8-6. And a strike call, a good sinking fastball again. 1 ball, 1 strike. This ball hit hard to right center field. It'll be extra bases. Magadan on his way to second. The ball played back by Von Hayes, and the Mets have a double as Magadan gets his first hit of the night.
Now, baseball is a game where you have to take the good with the bad. Roger McDowell, with all those good years with the Mets, and really turned around on him last year. 1-5. He was traded to the Phillies. Did fairly well the last half of last season, but he has really struggled this year.
And this ball gets away from Dalton. Magadan will go to third in the pass ball. The Mets will have a run at third with 1 out. So the Phillies will play their infield in with Jeffries at the plate. They count 1 ball, no strikes. Mets trying to pick up an insurance run. They lead 6-4. And this ball hit deep to right field, way back. It's going, and it is off the wall. Magadan scores from third base. Jeffries ends up at second, and the Mets now lead at 7-4 as Jeffries doubles in a run.
That is the 4th hit off Roger McDowell, all for extra bases. This off the glove of Von Hayes, and then off the wall, it caroms back to Dykstra, and Jeffries has his 24th double of the year and 41st RBI. Nice try by Hayes, but Magadan scoring easily from third. That may be all for McDowell because Don Carmen, the left-hander, is warming in the bullpen.
And Darryl Strawberry, the batter. Darryl might be walked.
Yeah.
And they'll pitch to the right-hander, Kevin McReynolds, and they are going to walk Strawberry intentionally. Don Carmen throwing in the bullpen, but they're staying with the right-hander, who will pitch to Kevin McReynolds. Strawberry's single in the 8th inning got the Mets started when they scored their 4 runs to take the lead. Second walk that he has in this game. And on the official at bats, he is 1 for 3 tonight.
60% of the Mets hits tonight are extra base hits. 2 homers, 4 doubles, as you see tonight in Montreal. Pittsburgh over the Expos 5-3. Got a pennant race on our hands, don't we?
Mets a game and a half out, and it's really boiling now. The dog days are coming up. McReynolds with a base hit in the 8th inning to keep it going for the Mets. 1 for 4 tonight. And the first pitch, a called strike. McReynolds' base hit knocked Cook out of the game and brought in McDowell, and McDowell pitching to Howard Johnson gave up a double that saw the Mets tie the game, and then a 2-run home run to Sasser that saw the Mets take the lead. And this ball popped down the right side. If it's fair, it's trouble. Von Hayes running for it. It's foul. So Jeffrey's back to second. Strawberry back to first. A strike 2 count to Kevin McReynolds.
That's the activity Buddy Harrelson likes. All these guys running around every play. Greg Jeffries touching home and then going back to second. And Strawberry, you know, Mets all over the place. That wasn't the case the first 6 innings, but boy, to 7, 8, 9, they have had some animated hitters.
Had only 2 hits through the first six innings against Pat Combs. And now they've picked up a total of 8 base hits in the last 3 innings, with maybe more to come. 2-strike pitch swung on a miss, so Rogers strikes out McReynolds. And that will bring up Howard Johnson, the first man that McDowell pitched to when he came in the game in the 8th inning. Johnson 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. He has 56 RBIs. And he has scored 2 runs in this game. And he looks at a fastball that's low. Tomorrow night, Sid Fernandez on the mound, coming in with a record of 6-6. Jeff Parrott will pitch for Philadelphia. His record 3-8. Parrott converted into a starting pitcher after being a reliever for several years. And the breaking ball for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes.
See, that's what McDowell, in my opinion, that's what McDowell's got to do. Left-handed hitters, their eye level on that sinker is always in the same spot. They may miss it, they may tap it, they may hit it hard on the ground. But Mackey Sasser knows from catching Roger McDowell, if you put a wrinkle in that sinker or a slider or something, that keeps left-handers from diving out and hitting what would normally be a good pitch.
And there's the sinker again.
See, it doesn't fool anybody, because left-handers are going to continue to dive out there and dive out there, and they make a good pitch a bad pitch because of the way they're looking for it. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
If McDowell doesn't get Johnson out, we'll see the left-hander, Don Carmen. And he walks him on 4 pitches to load up the bases. So that is all for Roger McDowell. He struck out 3, walked 2, one of them intentionally, both walks coming here in the 9th. The bases are loaded. The Mets are leading by a score of 7-4. A new pitcher coming in the game, and here's a word from Bell Atlantic. As the losing pitcher in this ball game at this point, and Don Carmen in.
Roger really struggling, and Don Carmen, the numbers on him, he has really had a good year for the Phillies. The struggle last year, 11-15 on the year, shoved into the bullpen, and it seems to be agreeing with him.
And he'll be pitching with the bases full. And Mackey Sasser, the batter. Sasser already with 4 runs batted in as a result of 2 2-run home runs. He has a double, so he is 3 for 4 in the night. It's his first 2-home-run game, and he has been the hero of this game for the New York Mets. So Mackey Sasser with the bases loaded. A chance to have an 8 RBI game. Although he's never had a grand slam home run. And the first pitch by Carmen. Hit hard into center field. Dykstra is right there, and he makes the catch. So one pitch, and the inning is over, but the Mets get an insurance run as they had 2 hits in the inning and the score. At the end of 8.5 innings, the Mets 7 and the Phillies 4. Now here's a word from Diet Pepsi.
Every time a Mets player steals a base, you could win a new 1990 Nissan 300ZX. Just go to your participating Nissan dealer and enter the Nissan Stolen Base game. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 years old and a licensed driver to play. Today's contestant, Anthony Labuti from Staten Island, New York.
And we're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. John Franco on the mound for the Mets. He came in the 8th, struck out all 3 batters he faced.
Ralph, really an oddity in tonight's ball game. There have been 5 pitchers for the Phillies. They're trailing 7-4, and they haven't used any pinch hitters for their pitchers. That is odd. Combs, Baver, Cook, McDowell, and Carmen. No pinch hitters in the 9 spot.
And likely not to use any pinch hitters,
Right.
as they have Von Hayes, Martinez, and Charlie Hayes as their first 3 batters. And this ball attempted to be bunted for a base hit, but right back to Franco, and Von Hayes is out in 1 pitch. So Franco has retired 4 in a row. He leads the National League in saves with 21, working on his 22nd. And the Mets working on a come-from-behind victory. They were down 4-0 as they batted in the 7th inning. It looked like it was going to be Pat Combs all the way as he was dominating the ball game. The Mets could do nothing with him. He had given up only 2 hits until the 7th inning, and a walk got it started as Howard Johnson walked the lead off the inning in the 7th, and Sasser followed with a 2-run home run. One and one.
I'll tell you, if you look in any big inning over the course of a season, most of the time, somewhere sandwiched in that big inning's a walk, either to start it, in the middle, in the end of it. Walks almost always contribute, it seems, to a big inning.
And that pitch is strike for strike 2, 1-2. Frankie Frisch, the Hall of Famer, said it best. Oh, those bases on balls. The Fordham Flash. One-two pitch hit off the end of the bat.
Did you see Charlie Hayes catch that ball? He's on deck. He just reached out, snagged it. Nice play, Charlie. That ball's biting back there. One hopper. He just reached out with his right hand, caught it, flipped it in the in the dugout. That was great. Nothing to it.
Makes it look easy.
Told you his defense has improved.
Improved a lot. 2-2.
Nothing to it. Look at Charlie in the background on deck. Now watch this. Whoop. There it is. I'll take care of that, guys. And then he just flips it back to the dugout.
2-2 pitch misses, and it's 3-2. Mets leading by 3. 1 man away here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Ralph, Mike Devereaux of the Orioles has hit a solo home run in the 8th inning to break up Jeff Robinson's no-hitter.
Ground ball out to Johnson, the third. He scoops it up. And the Phillies are down to their last out.
Tonight, some of our guests will receive the Cassell 951 Sports sunglasses, interchangeable side shields and sports straps. The Cassell 951 is worn by sports celebrities worldwide. Cassell, available at fine optical sunglasses shops elsewhere, everywhere. Also from Birdie Travelwear Cortina Contemporary Luggage, perfect for vacations, for business, fashionable Birdie luggage. Have a good trip. That's what the Mets hope to do.
And on this trip, if they win this ball game, they will be 1-1 with the Phillies, with 1 more to play tomorrow night. Game time will be at 7:35. As Charlie Hayes takes the first pitch for a called strike. There's a ball, 1-1. Hayes in this game 0 for 3. Mackey Sasser, the catcher, the hero of this ball game, with 4 runs batted in with 2 two-run home runs. That ties his career high for RBIs in the game. And it sets a career high for 2 home runs in 1 game for him. 1-1 pitch, and it's bounced out to Johnson, and this should do it. The Mets win it as they come from behind, trailing 4-0, and they win it by a score of 7-4. All the action coming from the 7th inning on from the Mets bats. Winning pitcher in the ball game, Julio Machado, his 3rd win of the year. He's lost 1, his first appearance for the Mets since coming back up from Tidewater. A save for Franco, his 22nd. He leads the league in that department. The losing pitcher in the game was McDowell. He's now 3-4. And we'll be back with a wrap-up right after this message from Budweiser.